Hello and welcome to From Broken to Breakthrough. As always, I am Dr. Liz Pereda. And today, you guys, this is just God ordained. I was actually going to have initially a different a guest, but she canceled last minute. And so we decided to do an episode 2 because you guys began to share with me something that is nothing short of a miracle. Mm-hmm. This is God. And for those of you that maybe know somebody who has cancer, or maybe you've been diagnosed with cancer, God is, He's already made the solution for that. And today they're going to speak to us, Kurt and Cristin, about their company who has, they found the cure to cancer. I mean, we'll have them share it with you because I know that it's kind of like a process and all that, but tell us a little bit about your business.
We will. First of all, we can't ever say cure.
It's not a cure.
Okay, so erase it.
That's okay.
It's a food that God has created.
Yeah,
that supports the bodies in ways.
And we're thankful to be able to share this. And,
I just got so excited. I'm like, stay longer.
It's very amazing what it's done for so many people. And just so that you have an understanding, and everyone has an understanding of how we, were able to get to this point. Our company is a pet company. It's called Pet Club 24/7. And, we'll give you information where people could go ahead and go and order if they choose to order this. But just about 10 years ago, a very close friend of mine that I've known for many years, very amazing Christian individual, been a mentor, been just so thankful that he was in my life. He also has been a pastor. He plays on worship groups, some pretty well-known ones.
Yeah.
And he had called and he said, look, we have a product that we want to roll out for animals. We've had this for years. We've been selling it to humans, and he shared the story of how they got their hands on it. And he was telling us about his business partner, Simon. Mm-hmm. And Simon's mother was dealing with an issue that affected her lung. She was attending Sloan Kettering. It metastasized, it got worse. They did everything medically they could to help her, and nothing worked out. And it came down to they just gave her a couple of months to live. And so he was doing like any son would do, and telling and informing friends and family of her circumstances. And his cousin in Japan reached out and said, listen, we have something that you should give her. He goes, it's just a mushroom. It's in a capsule. We have a proprietary way we have established, we've been working on for years, that makes it more potent. We already had, what is considered the most potent strain of it. And he goes, just give it to her. Let's just see if it'll help her in any way. And so he sends it to Simon's mother. She starts taking it, and she notices just after about a month, quite a considerable difference in the way she's feeling. Month 2 went by, more improvement. Month 3, She felt like the issue wasn't there. She felt normal again. And so she goes back to Sloan Kettering. They run all the labs, and indeed they find her issue to no longer be there. Now, Sloan Kettering, a big institution, was like
institution.
I almost did. They were flabbergasted. They, of course, wanted to know, what she was doing, and she explained, and they asked for all the information that she could supply them about this mushroom, and that's where the first clinical study started here in the United States. Now, it's gone on to the American Cancer Society, MD Anderson, Harvard, Loma Linda, been published in the Library of Medicine many times. And what they have concluded is indeed that it modulates the immune system. It gets your immune system working optimally again. And if we can get our immune system working right, it's capable of resolving any situation we could be dealing with, from the smallest of concerns to the most catastrophic. Now, we have to say it doesn't cure, it doesn't mitigate, it doesn't prevent, but getting that immune system working right is the key, and God-given. That's what God gave us. That's what we have in our body to keep us healthy, and it gets compromised by all the different things that we're doing. This just gets it functioning optimally again. And so the story is interesting, because what ended up happening is, when he told us about that, he said, look, I had just lost my dog due to cancer. My best friend Steve lost his dog due to cancer, and two of Steve's children, now this was all within 4 months of one another, all between the ages of 2 and 4 years old. too early for them to get cancer. And he goes,
Really?
Yeah.
we have this product that we've been getting out to people. He goes, and you know, to just elaborate on the backstory of this is Simon was able to bring this into the United States and was getting it out for people for years and years. It's been amazing
Wow.
what has happened. But now they were like, I wonder if this is safe for animals. And sure enough, they looked into it. And this mushroom, just like in people, it doesn't interact with any medications you could be taking. You can't overdose. You can't get addicted. You can't take too much. There's no side effects. It's a most amazing thing that God put on this planet for a
Hallelujah.
reason.
And it's just like eating a mushroom on a salad.
Yes,
It's just a whole
It's
food.
just a whole
Does
food.
it taste good?
Yeah, it's actually
Yeah, actually
nice
really
flavor.
good. Yeah. And so he said, look, we want to get this out for animals. And I said, and he was telling us, and of course I trusted him. I believed what he
Yeah.
was saying. I said, send it out, you know, we'll try it with ours. And we had young animals at that time, a dog and a cat. And 3 days after we get it, a really close friend of mine posts on social media that he has to put his best friend down. And so I thought, I'm going to reach out. I reached out. I said, hey, I just learned of something. Are you interested in maybe giving it to her? I kind of explained what I explained to you with him.
Yeah.
And and I said, but what's going on with her? And he goes, well, first of all, he goes, Kurt, she's 14 and a half. He goes, if you know Huskies, they
Yeah.
on average, they live to be 12. He goes, so we feel blessed. We got a couple of years with him, but he had an autoimmune issue, and it's been going on for 5 years. He goes, in the last year, it became so bad that if she, if she stepped on pavement, asphalt, or the tile in our house, her paw pads would come off. He goes, the craziest thing, we'd have to keep her off of all that. But in the last month, her eyes have completely whited over. She runs into stuff. We feel like she's going blind. Her hair's coming out in clumps. She said she had 7 lumps down her side. And he goes, to be fair, the vet didn't diagnose them because of her age, but it feels like they might be cancerous. And he goes, we're carrying her outside to use a bathroom. And he goes, but this is my best friend. You know, I love her. I'm having a hard time just making the decision. And he said, so bring it by. I'll try this before anything. We make that decision. And he starts giving it to her. And he calls me 4 days later. And I answer it. And he goes, first thing he says, what did you give my dog? And he said it in a tone he had
Give
never.
it to me too.
Yeah, but he had never used that with me. And I said, oh no. I said, is everything okay? And he goes, Kurt, she just jumped on the couch next to me. And I said, that's amazing. And he goes, you don't understand. She hasn't done this in 1.5 years. He goes, you'd think it could be this mushroom. And I said, and at that time, it just came in a little treat, no bad ingredients. And I said, well, you know, I mean, to be frank with you, I can't answer that honestly. We just received it. I trust, you know, Gino and the people that have shared this with me. And he goes, it has to be. There's nothing else we're doing. And every day that went by, they watched Zenta start doing things, going to the restroom on her own. Within around 30 days, that crystallization's gone.
Her eyes
The
were clear.
clear. They noticed she wasn't bumping into stuff now, so she was seeing better. And the paw pads, no problem any longer.
Wow.
Those lumps down her side between 4 and 6 months were gone. And Zenta lived to be just short of 20 years old. Yeah, another 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's 5 more years.
you know, the amazing things we hear about this is people that are healthy that take it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So you don't have to have cancer to be able to take this. So what
it's being
happens?
proactive versus reactive, right?
Yes.
It's but people will notice they feel younger, they feel more energetic, they feel more clarity in their mind. We have an individual that some of the viewers might know him. He's known as the Walking Man. And he's walked for Christ for years. He's walked every continent on the planet.
He walks for peace. He walks for
Yes.
Jesus. He walks for children.
And he had called and shared with us. He had heard about us through one of the podcasts, and he called and he said, I have to share what I've experienced on this mushroom. He goes, he told us who he was, and at that time he was 79. And he goes, I'll have to tell you, he goes, I'm walking like I'm 65 again. It's unbelievable. I've been on this thing for just over a month and a half. And he goes, the other thing is that I had tendonitis in my ankle. Nothing's been able to help it. I've been dealing with it for this last year. And I'd wake up with a swollen ankle, sore. And he goes, it's gone. And I know it has to be this. And he goes, I've got some other health issues. I want to see how it is, and then I'll let you know how it goes. And so we don't hear back from him for about 2 months. He calls back and he says, I have to tell you what I've experienced. He goes, I fought in Vietnam. I have PTSD. He goes, I have to wear a T-shirt to bed. And I'd have to sleep on a towel because I'd wake up with a, soaking wet. And he goes, since I've been on this, in just the last month, that has completely gone away. I've been dealing with this for years. He goes, I have to get up to use a restroom sometimes 4 to 5 times a night. And he goes, you don't know what it's like not to be able to just have a good night's sleep. And he goes, that has dropped down to around once a night, sometimes not at all. That first time I've dealt with that in years. And he goes, I dealt with a lot of because of type 2 diabetes, which is something he had. He said, I deal a lot with, what's that called?
Neuropathy?
Neuropathy. Gosh, I couldn't find
job.
it. Neuropathy. And,
You would have been on your own. I had nothing.
yeah, and he said, my neuropathy's gone. He goes, my doctors can't even believe it. My diabetic numbers are the best they've been in years. And he goes, this is just the most amazing thing. And so, yes, healthy people are dealing with certain things. Your immune system knows how to go in and take care of it. Sometimes we don't even know what's going on in our body.
Yeah.
And if we can get something happening to help, we could avoid maybe those things that are coming down the line. And it is amazing how well you feel. It's incredible. If people decide that they want to get it, it's just the green bottle. If they go to the website, it's a green bottle. It's the least expensive of the bottles. If somebody, the recommendations are to take 1 per every 50 pounds if you're just trying to maintain health. And there's 60 capsules in a bottle. So they're not expensive. They're around just right at $40 for a bottle.
Wow.
If someone's dealing with a challenge or an issue and they want to see if it might help them with that, then they would want to at least double or triple up every single day until they get that issue resolved. And you take it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning when you wake up. You take it at night. We have dog products on there. So it is a pet site, but we offer the human products. And the funny story is and I've done all the talking and I'm so sorry, but
No, this is good. This is why I kept them longer. They were already going to leave, but I'm like, hold on, we got to do a show on this. So go ahead.
The funny side of it is they wanted to keep the company pet-centric because, when you have something that's doing wonderful things for people, it can sometimes, you have to be careful,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And so it was going to be pet-centric, and people were seeing the most amazing things with their animals, and they knew that their pets don't know what a placebo effect is. They would give them different things, and they would, my brother would call me after 10 days of his dog Batman, which is a little dachshund that couldn't get up and down the stairs anymore, jump in his favorite chair. And he's like, I can't believe it. Batman's running up and down the stairs again. He's jumping in his favorite chair.
Batman's running up and down the stairs.
People would see these things happen.
Yeah.
The story with Miguel and what he witnessed with his dog, and which is an amazing, and Kristen may want to share that, but they would say, is this, we can't believe this. We know they don't know what a placebo is. We're just feeding them something
There's a
different
mushroom in
and
these
we're
little
seeing
cookies
results.
that we're giving them, or this gravy that they're eating with their food. They have no idea. It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And over 90% of the time, dogs, cats, horses, we're seeing amazing turnarounds relatively quickly, usually within about a week or so, is when people would call us going, I can't believe this. This is unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, at that point, we knew we had to bring the human product in, and we
So it
started
was
sharing
tested
it.
on humans first before we found out it was safe to give to pets.
Wow.
We did it backward.
Back.
Yeah.
And
And then it came back around to the human side.
And through Pet Club is the only way humans can get it in pets. And we put it in, healthy products for animals, no bad ingredients. Most people aren't aware of this, but 65% of our pets get cancer as well. 1
I
in
didn't
3
know that,
allergies,
yeah.
6 million new cases of diabetes. And a lot of the research that's been done has found that it's come from the foods, treats, and toys that they're ingesting, just like us people.
Yeah.
And so we've created healthy products, healthy things, and
natural.
through God, it's amazing the things that have happened, the things that we can't make up, that we know that are just modern day miracles.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, it makes me think of the Bible verse that says, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
So then that means that cancer it happened back then. So could it be that God already made the solution for the problem? Because we know that we have the enemy, right? He comes to steal, kill, destroy. And one of the ways that he's doing that is through cancer and all of these sicknesses that unfortunately they do come from food for the most part. And God is so sovereign and so faithful to have made something so natural for people to use it. And again, that's part of the practical that we were talking about before. You can pray about, your healing. I am a firm believer that God can still heal. The same God that was, is, and forever will be. So I have seen, not only have I seen it, I've experienced it, so I know that God can supernaturally heal. But it's also important for us to use the practical things that he brings. And in this case, it came in the form of a mushroom. Wow.
It's funny how, this is not a well-known thing.
Yeah.
The ancient Egyptians called it the mushroom of longevity. The
No
ancient
way.
Chinese called it the mushroom of youth.
So
This has been used for thousands of years.
It's just now, resurfacing. Our company has been getting it out for now going on 30 years. So this is not new. You're hearing a lot about mushrooms, but people are finally learning. This particular mushroom is the most closely related thing on the planet to our DNA. There's nothing more closely related to it. The studies are amazing what they're finding and what it's doing, and it creates autophagy in your body, which is, if you don't know what that is,
can you explain that a little bit? Because that's Chinese to me.
Yeah, autophagy is when you fast.
Oh,
and
okay.
after you hit that, 24 hours, it starts to begin. And what it does is
like
it takes those
ketosis?
bad cells out of your body.
Similar, yes.
Yeah.
It's like it's a cellular recycling.
Okay.
So the good cells start eating the damaged cells and breaking them apart into usable parts to create new healthy cells.
Wow.
So it's the way that your body recycles cells and keeps the mitochondria strong. And it's just a miraculous process that our bodies naturally do, but typically it's only activated through fasting or stress or some type of deprivation. But there's a polyamine inside of this mushroom that actually activates that process without deprivation, without the stress, without the fasting. So your cells are working optimally, and on a molecular level, it's repairing the body. It's eating the damaged ones and turning them into good, usable, healthy cells. So it's a whole renewal process that's happening from this food. And what's so incredible about this mushroom is, you said it, God has given us everything that we need. He has given us everything that we need. And it not only everything that we need, but in abundance. And this mycelial network of this mushroom covers the earth. The entire earth is covered with this mycelial network of this mushroom. 80% of every step that we take outside, we're stepping on this mycelial network of mushrooms. And so it is, God built it. He intelligently designed everything. We have all of the allies that we need, all the support that we need. He's provided for us out in nature. We've just lost access to it. We've forgotten how the original order, what the original intent was. And so now, as we're rediscovering all of this, returning back to that natural order, to that divine order.
Garden.
Yes, to the garden. And on top of that, he's called us to be good stewards, not only with what we have, but with ourselves, with our own bodies. We are temples of the Holy Spirit. We are called to be good stewards of our pets and take care of all of creation, right? And so he's given us everything we need. And what they found, all these researchers have found, is that this particular mushroom and this extract nourishes our bodies intelligently in ways that no other food on the planet can. It has unique properties and unique components that our body reads like a code, and our pets' bodies read it like a code. So it nourishes us in ways that even modern science is still trying to keep up with, because we have great technologies, right? We're surrounded by great technologies, but the most fascinating technologies are the biological technologies. What God has already designed and created, we're still trying to understand it with modern science. So it's just, we're so grateful that this revelation is coming out and that God is showing us, like you said, he's made a way. He's already made a way. And by us speaking about it and getting it out there and sharing what God has done, we've seen him do it for so many animals. We've seen it do it for so many people. We've seen research studies that are so scientifically validated that it's like, okay, Lord, you've made a way. We see that, and we're going to respond, and we're going to get out there, and we're going to start getting this into people, getting this into pets, letting their bodies do what you designed them to do, which are able to heal and restore and rebalance themselves through their immune systems.
Wow.
So it's been a humbling journey, but we're also so convicted because I lost both my grandparents.
This is the first time I heard about it.
I lost both my grandparents to cancer, and I get so emotional because I think like, if I would have known, like I wish that I would have known. And it's not a cure, it's not a guarantee, that doesn't exist, but it does support the bodies in ways, and we've seen the body respond to it in ways that encourage us and inspire us. And really, we have a moral responsibility to share it and to let people know, here, God has made a way, this exists.
This helps.
This helps.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to use it as an option or not, you just need to know that it's there.
Yes.
And we thank you for opening up your platform and letting us share what God has been doing through this, because it is a huge conviction for us.
Yes. When I heard about it, I'm like, oh gosh, we have to share it with the people, because the truth is that, again, as you pray, as you believe God for your healing, do also, take the practical steps towards healing. So thank you guys so much for what you're doing. That is amazing. Do you guys have any other testimonies to share that will raise up their faith?
We have so many. I mean, it's so many. One really good friend of ours, Diana, and I have no problem ever with a viewer putting these people on a call, because we're not about sharing something and without backing it.
Yeah.
Right? Diana lives in Boulder City, just outside of Las Vegas. And Diana, she had been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. This was in 2020. And because of COVID, it was right around that time, her surgery, she couldn't get in for almost 2.5 months. So we had talked to her, and we said, Diana, let's get your immune system running optimally before you go through all this. Let's get this mushroom in your system. And we shared with her the things that we had learned in testimonials. And we said, hey, look, maybe you'll be a testimonial like that. We can't guarantee anything. But so she started taking 10 a day. Now, they come in capsules. So when I say 10 a day, it's just a capsule. And she doesn't like swallowing capsules. So she would open it up and put it in her tea in the morning and her tea at night. And so finally, the nurse comes over to her home. She pulls her blood to get ready for pre-op. This is almost 6 weeks later. And the next day, the nurse calls and says, this is very urgent. The oncologist needs to get on a video call with you. Can you do it now? And she said, well, yeah, of course. And she said she gets on, and he has a smile. And he goes to her, he goes, Diana, what are you doing? And Diana said, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm scared. What do you mean? And he goes, Diana, you're in remission. What are you doing? And another amazing, one. And we've had so many. We've been blessed.
And it's not only with cancers and those types of things. Like even my own experience, which is really important, because I think it's really high right now. I think over 20% of women are dealing with some type of autoimmune condition. It's good, and it's rising at alarming rates. And I had my own experience where over several years, I developed a gluten intolerance. I developed a dairy intolerance, allergies, which I never had growing up. I had to take a sinus allergy pill every single day. I lost a ton of weight. I was down to 104 pounds, and I'm 5'9", so I pretty much looked emaciated. I had no energy. I would tremble. It was just, I was very depressed. It got really bad over just several years. And finally, I started having these small seizures, and I would pass out, and we would only have a few seconds notice, so I couldn't drive anymore.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't do anything.
Your life, huh?
Yes, and it was at that point I realized, I need to go to the doctor. So I finally went to the doctor, and they drew my blood work, and I had the autoimmune marker present, and my antithyroid globulin levels, which were supposed to be less than 1, were 522. So they said, this is something autoimmune. We need to start running tests to find out what it is. And it's about a 2-year process that you're going to go through. We have to go find out what it's not before we find out what it is. It's a deductive reasoning thing. I said, okay, well, let's start the process. But I knew about these mushrooms, and that they don't boost the immune system or stimulate it. They actually modulate it, like you heard Kurt say. So what researchers found was, even when there are immune sensitivities or deficiencies, it didn't exacerbate the problem. It helped the immune system restabilize itself and reset back to regular. So I thought, man, even if I'm going to feel bad for the rest of my life, because they said we need to find out what you have so we can manage it.
Yeah.
It was never to get rid of it. It was to be able to manage the
Just live
flare-ups,
with it comfortably.
manage the symptoms.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, well, if I'm going to feel bad, I want to feel the best that I can feeling bad.
The best bad.
Yeah, the best bad I can feel.
Yeah.
And so I started taking 6 of these Enforce capsules. Like you said, the little green bottle, I started taking 6 of them a day. And that's the only thing that I changed. I took 3 in the morning, every morning when I woke up, and 3 at night right before I went to bed. And the first thing I noticed was my mood was elevated. You can tell I'm pretty chipper.
Oh, I need that then.
Yeah, I'm a chipper, positive, upbeat person, and I was legit depressed.
Wow.
Like I was in a bad mood all the time, irritable, so critical. It was horrible. And I started feeling happier. Then I stopped taking as many naps throughout the day. I never passed out again or had another seizure after I started taking them, not one. After I started getting that immune support in my body. I went through gastroenterology, couldn't figure anything out. 5.5 months later, I go to the endocrinologist and he says, you don't look like you have any autoimmune concerns. I was like, I feel great at this point. I felt amazing. He took my blood work, autoimmune marker was gone.
Hallelujah.
Antithyroid globulin levels were back below 1. Never have since then. It's been over 8 years. Haven't taken a single allergy medication. No more gluten intolerance. No more dairy intolerance.
Blood work comes back
my blood work,
amazing.
everything, all the deficiencies I had, vitamin D deficiency, vitamin B deficiency that I had, all level and normal and in perfect range. So that just shows you the support that God's given us, what that does for your own body and how it can help to rebalance and reharmonize everything that's happening.
Love it. So it's not a cure. You can't legally say that, but it really does optimize your immune system.
That's right.
That alone, optimization of the immune system is, I think, gold.
It's everything.
So if you guys are interested in purchasing this, and by the way, again, this was not planned. This is God. I just couldn't keep this secret to myself. It wouldn't have been fair for me to just hear about this, feel the anointing, feel the truth, but keep it to myself. That wouldn't be right. So that's why we decided to make this show so you guys can know about this. And how do they get a hold of this product?
There will be a link that you can post that they can access it and get a hold of it. Like we said, there's several options for your pets, but for people, you really want to get the green bottle. It's called the Enforce from the website. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they have any specific questions that they need to ask, or just they could email either myself, it's kludlow@petclub247.com, or cludlow@petclub247.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions as well. But that link will be there. They can click on the link, and if it's the pet products, go in and look at the pet products. There's a thing that we have called special sauce that is amazing with the mushroom in it, and it's inexpensive. Give it to your dog every day. Just watch what you see. Yes. And then for humans, and by the way, all those products are amazing that are there. But for humans, again, the green bottle, it's called Enforce. It's just every single person, every single pet needs to be getting this into their system.
So we'll have the link. Again, thank you so much for being with me a little longer. And guys, if you have a powerful testimony, we want to hear it. Please contact us at lizfuerteministries.com. We'll see you next time.
God bless.
The preceding program was brought to you by the Holy Spirit Broadcasting Network, HSBN Television.